On the news tonight, northern governors meet in Kaduna to address insecurity. Ribadu visits Niger, assures parents of safe return of abducted St. Mary's Catholic School students. Nigeria's gross domestic product grows by 3.98% in third quarter of 2025. And on the foreign scene, Cameroonian opposition figure Anicet Ekane dies in detention. Hello there, a very good evening. Welcome to Niza on Trust TV. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. And we begin the news with some security issues. The chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and governor of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya, says security challenges in northern Nigeria have escalated from a localized problem to a national and existential threat that endangers the future of the region. The NGF chairman noted that the menace spares no one, stressing that it is time for collective and decisive action to ensure the survival of the North and the country at large. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more on that report.
The emergency meeting held at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna brought together the Northern Governors Forum and the Northern Traditional Council to accelerate discussions on solutions to the persistent security challenges confronting the North. Chairman of the NGF and Governor of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya, in his remarks expressed deep concern over terrorist attacks on schools and farmlands, describing them as a direct attack on the region's future. He warned that without peace, there would be no country to govern.
Terrorists target our schools and farms because they seek to cripple the very tools that empower our youth and secure our collective progress. An attack on education is a direct assault on our future. I urge us all to work with the federal government, security agencies, local and international stakeholders to ensure that all necessary measures are put in place in order to protect our schools and provide a safe and secure environment where our children can pursue their education and the rest of the society can carry out their livelihood activities without fear of molestation.
He said the root causes of the challenges include underdevelopment, illiteracy, poor resource management, and other social issues in the region, stressing that only collective effort can rescue the North.
The security situation in northern Nigeria has escalated from a localized challenge to a national and existential threat. It endangers the present and endanger the future of our region. This menace spares no one. It consumes the poor and the rich, the Muslims and the Christians, the young and the old. Now is not the time for politics or politicking. It is the time for a concerted action to ensure the very survival of the North and Nigeria at large. Your Excellencies, our respect.
House Governor Senator Obasani emphasized the need for state police as a key solution to the security crisis, lamenting that the current number of police personnel is grossly inadequate to meet Nigeria's security demands.
Kindly permit me to reiterate the imperative of state police. Nigeria's centralized policing model can no longer meet the demands of a nation with over 230 million people and vast ungoverned spaces. With fewer than 400,000 police officers nationwide, many rural communities are left without meaningful protection. Your Excellencies, our region has come far. We are dismantling all obstacles and building new pathways of cooperation and development.
On his part, Chairman of the Council of Northern Traditional Rulers and Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, reaffirmed the readiness and commitment of traditional rulers to support efforts aimed at ending insecurity in the region.
And also a very important meeting due to so many things that have been happening in the last month or two. I'm talking about the insecurity issues, the kidnappings and whatever, the killings and so on. I'd like to adopt all what the Kano State Governor and the Gombe State Governor said in their opening statements, 100%, because all what we are supposed to tell ourselves are in those two presentations.
During the closed-door session, the forum placed the issue of Almajiri and out-of-school children at the center of discussions. It noted that millions of northern children are roaming the streets instead of being in school, an unacceptable situation that requires decisive, collective action to eliminate. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
In the meantime, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, on Monday assured parents and management of the Catholic Primary and Secondary School Papiri Agwara local government area of Niger State, where over 200 pupils were kidnapped, that the children and staff were safe and would soon return to reunite with their families. Ribadu gave the assurance at a closed-door meeting with representatives of the parents and management of the school at the St. Michael's Catholic Cathedral, Kontagora. Terrorists had stormed the school in the wee hours of Friday, November 1st, and kidnapped the pupils, students, and staff. The NSA was accompanied by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Bernard Doro, the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Oluwatosin Ajayi, and Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Northern Nigeria, Reverend Joseph Hayab. While delivering President Bola Tinubu's message of hope and assurance, Ribadu said citizens collaborate to end insecurity across the country. The NSA, who described the current security situation as a difficult moment for the federal government, said the federal government had taken the responsibility to rescue the children. And still on insecurity, bandits have infiltrated and attacked Ungwar Tsamia, popularly known as Badawa, in Shanono local government area of Kano State, and kidnapped 11 persons. The affected victims were 9 males, 2 females, and 2 cows. According to a reliable source, the bandits attacked the village around 12 a.m. on Monday. Trust TV reports that this is coming barely 24 hours after a similar attack on N. Kamai in Sanyawa local government area, another community bordering Katsina State. Efforts to get the police spokesman in Kano, Abdullahi Haruna Kiawa, were unsuccessful at press time. Meanwhile, 4 suspected bandits were arrested with weapons believed to be guns at the Kofarua Motor Park in Kano metropolis on Monday. The motor park, located near the Kofarua Building Materials Market in Dale local government area of Kano State, is a major hub for travelers. Residents said the suspects were apprehended while attempting to board a vehicle heading out of Kano. They added that the suspects arrested around 1 p.m. were first taken to the Kofarua Police Division before being transferred to the Dala Division. In the meantime, some Kano residents protested and burned tires in front of the police station, demanding that the arrested kidnappers be handed over for mob justice. Meanwhile, the Kano State Police Command has restated its commitment to strictly enforce the ban on passenger conveyance by motorcycles and the restriction of commercial tricycles from operating between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. daily across the state. The command, in collaboration with other security agencies, said the measures are in line with existing laws earlier announced by the Kano state government and remain in full force in 9 local government areas of the metropolis. Police spokesperson CSP Abdullahi Haruna Kiawa, in a statement issued on Monday on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Adamu Bakori, said enforcement teams have been empowered to profile individuals who defy the ban and curb the spread of unverified information that could instill fear among residents. The statement added that the enforcement drive is being carried out in partnership with the Kano Road and Traffic Agency, Karota, to guarantee full compliance for the safety of all residents. And now joining us via Zoom to discuss the rising insecurity in Kano State is security expert Dr. Yahuza Getso. Hello there, Dr. Yahuza. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Yahuza. It looks like we're having a problem there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening and thank you for having me. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Good evening. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, let's look at the situation in Kano.
Yeah.
Why is Kano suddenly becoming the new frontier for banditry?
Well, there are several reasons. Several and many reasons. Some of these reasons can be outlined, one, into negligence by the Kano state government. The previous and present administration neglected those informations, because I remember in the last 8 years, between the last 8 years to date, 26 to almost 28 local governments were affected by these bandits and kidnappers. They launched their activities in these 26 to 28 local governments. That is one. Two, Kano could have used a strategy of conducting a continued SWOT analysis to look at its strengths, to look at the weakness, to look at the opportunities, and to look at the threats, simply because of many reasons, one of which the neighborhood with Katsina, neighborhood with Kaduna, and neighborhood with Bauchi. When you take the areas of Sumaila, neighborhood also was a Plateau state, because these are conflict environments, but government have not really taken a serious steps in dealing with the situation. And at the same time, I find it very difficult to understand why the governor and the deputy senate president were at loggerhead politically, accusing one another or exchanging words in respect to the situation, which really the citizens of Kano State are not interested in all that. What Kano State indigents are interested is actionable measures, not a release story, not public statement, not press releases between the state government and any other person. What is needed most is actionable measures. And then number four, there is no synchronization activities between the communities of Katsina, the neighborhood communities of vehicles for military and the little for police, as well as some motorcycles. But that is not the main issue. The main issue is you need to work proactively to work with this, network service providers to provide network in the areas between Gorzo, Bagway, and Kankia, as well as Tanyawa itself. Because in some of those areas, there are no network service available. In many of those remotest places where these guys have started attacking. And number religion and all other cohesion of the social, both human and social, whatever, to come together and put politics aside and face the reality, so that we can be able, Kano State can be able to look inward and learn from Kazana, learn from Kaduna, learn from Plateau, and deal with the situation squarely. But as it is now, really, Kano State government have not really started preparing the right ground. I know why I'm speaking. And if the Kano State governor or the secretary to the government, the state government, or the commissioner for security and home affairs are listening to me or are watching this interview, they knew why I said they are not prepared. And they knew why I said they have not prepared ground. Because what they started is not what they're supposed to start. There are issues. There are more bigger issues to address than what they have started. We must commend them. We appreciate what they have started. But that is not enough. And as far as I'm concerned, they are not really working in line with what is required. Because we are not learning from Kazana. We are not learning from Plateau. We are not learning from Kaduna. And we are not also learning from other neighborhoods. Because it started from the remotest part of Kazana, remotest part of Sokoto, remotest part of Kebbi, remotest part of Niger, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then it continued to escalate because of negligence, because of complicity, because of compromise, because of informers, and many other reasons.
Okay. Now, moving forward, what immediate measures do you think security agencies should take to prevent armed suspects from infiltrating major transit hubs like Operwa Motor Park, especially amidst the rising bandit activity in Kano?
You know, I have sent a signal to all the security agencies since the year 2011 to 2013. When this issue of delivery started, whereby anybody can put together something rough, take it to the garage, and write the phone number of Mr. A or Mr. B from Kano, from Ofarua, from Yankaba, from Naibawa, from any of the garage, that somebody in Kaduna, Mr. Aminu, Mr. John, Mr. Binta, Mr. Amina, or whosoever would be coming to collect. You know, this have really been helping in armed proliferation. So there is need for one to strengthen collaboration and partnership with NATO, that is Nigerian Transport Employees, National Union of Road Transport Workers, and all other transportation agents, both formal and non-formal. That is one. And two, there is need to strengthen, to expand the scope of intelligence generation and intelligence and discussing way of generating the intelligence, because the public need to be sensitized. A lot of media engagement need to take of supporting and providing. When you see something, say something. Don't see and keep quiet. When you see something, say something. We must introduce these slogans to everyone in Kano State. Through the number 4, there must be a strengthened working relationship, collaboration and partnership, especially intensive surveillance within the border lines. Kano with Kasana, in the area of Ingawa, in the area of Kankia, in the area of Malimpashi, in the area of Musawa, in the area of to some extent Kaduna, Kafur, in the area of Kaduna, Makarfi, and the rest of it. there is need to strengthen collaboration and partnership between those border communities using the local strategy and community-driven approach.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and insight. We really appreciate your joining us on the program tonight. Thank you. Moving on.
Thank you for having me.
The father of the abducted bride in Sokoto State, Umar Chacho, has spoken for the first time since the recent attack on Chacho village, describing the incident as devastating and traumatic for the entire community. Speaking to our reporter during a visit on Monday, Malam Umar said he could not confirm whether his family was the primary target, but noted that the bandits headed straight to his residence after invading the village. He explained that the attackers shot his son as he tried to flee, injuring his cheek and breaking his left hand. 2 elderly men were also abducted, raising the total number of kidnapped persons from the attack to 13.
We were sitting outside when we heard gunshots. I immediately told my friends that those were not the usual gunshots fired by our community guards. Before we know it, the bandits appeared on motorcycles. My friends and I ran into the nearby bush. They went straight to the room where my daughter and her bridesmaid were sleeping. They threatened to shoot the door open if no one unlocked it. Eventually, one of the occupants opened the door, and the bandit took my daughter and her friends away. We rushed my son to the hospital that night, but the personnel on duty refused to attend to us. It wasn't until the next morning that we took him to another hospital, where he finally received treatment. He is now recovering.
In a related development, suspected bandits have ordered a residents of Bakale village in Kilgori district, Yabu local government area of Sokoto State, to pay a 20 million naira levy or face a violent attack. In an audio recording obtained by our reporter, the leader of the armed group instructed the village head to convene a meeting with residents and communicate the demand. The recording captures the bandit questioning the traditional ruler about an earlier directive. After the village head responded in the affirmative, the bandit ordered him to summon the residents again and inform them of the 20 million naira levy imposed on the entire community. The effect, according to the source, the levies range from 3 million to 20 million naira, depending on the size of each community. Efforts to obtain a response from the Sokoto State Police Command were unsuccessful. The chairman of Kaba, Bunu local government area, Barry Zacchaeus, in collaboration with the NSCDC operatives, has reportedly shut down a NIPCO fuel station at Kaba, following an allegation of dispensing petrol products to bandits in the forest of the areas. The local government chairman, in a statement, said the action is the outcome of monthly intelligence monitoring, adding that the team impounded a truck equipped with a large storage tank for future investigation. The local government authorities noted that further that the impounded truck had repeatedly purchased unusually large quantities of fuel before heading towards known criminal hideouts in Kiri Forest, Kaba, Bunu, and other routes towards Niger State. According to the statement, the suspect's truck and the seized fuel have been taken to custody, while the investigations is said to be in progress. However, the chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ipman Kogi West, Elder Mike Shegun Tolui, described the allegation levied against NIPCO filling station Kaba as false. From Kogi, we now take you to Plateau State, where traders at the Jos Katako market are expressing concern as the Harmattan season approaches, bringing with it an increased risk of fire outbreaks. The Harmattan period is known for frequent fire incidents that often lead to the destruction of property worth millions of naira. Trust TV's Ado Musa visited Katako market to assess traders' concern over the risk of fire during this year's Harmattan season. The report.
This is Timber B Market, located in Katako in the heart of Jos. It is one of the markets that suffered devastating losses after a night fire in 2024, where property worth over 70 million naira was destroyed. Traders here say they still struggle to recover from the incident, adding that as the December-January period approaches, when the fire outbreaks are most common, their fears intensify.
We normally have such feeling, but there is something you mentioned pertaining rainy season. You know, some of the time we cannot say fire doesn't give any sign when it will happen, when it will occur. It may occur in rainy season, it may occur in dry season, it may occur in Harmattan.
We are always worried as the Harmattan approaches. This is the time when there is a lot of timber in the market. If a fire occurs, people lose their property and some lose their entire capital. As this season gets closer, we become anxious because the wind is strong and we deal with materials that catch fire easily. This period is always challenging, even when we take preventive measures. The chairman of the Timber B market section, Yusuf Aliyu, explains some of the measures being taken to prevent a repeat of past experiences.
What we did right now is we invite most of the engineers within the town to come and inspect our territory in order to give us advice, advising us to demarcate the places, to make plan like how to build walls within the places in order when the fire arises, it will not go far. The wall will stop it.
However, officials of the fire service in Jos say they also face challenges whenever fire incidents occur.
We, the fire service, has been trying a lot on sensitization, going around to the people, enlightening the public on how to protect and to prevent their properties. But when the fire service go there, maybe the fire has already escalated or destruction has already been met. You will find out that the people or the community will continue to destroy the fire service equipments, which is very wrong. Fire service equipments mainly for the community. Out of ignorance, some years ago, one of our vehicles were destroyed. Apart from that, some of our staff have been beaten by the community.
Izan explains that despite continuous sensitization efforts, many people still ignore basic fire safety precautions. He appealed to community, religious and market leaders to caution residents against attacking firefighters while they are carrying out their duties. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And to business news now. Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP, grew by 3.98% year-on-year in real terms in the third quarter of 2025, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The report said the growth rate is higher than the 3.86% recorded in the third quarter of 2024. The report said in nominal terms, the economy is 113 trillion naira and the performance is higher when compared to the third quarter of 2024, which recorded an aggregate GDP of 96 trillion naira, indicating a year-on-year nominal growth of 18.12%. It noted that during the quarter under review, agriculture grew by 3.79%, an improvement from the 2.55% recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2024, while the growth of the industry sector stood at 3.77% from 2.78% recorded in the third quarter of 2024, and the services sector recorded a growth of 4.15% from 4.97% in the same quarter of 2024. And joining me now via Zoom to discuss the new Gross Domestic Product Report is a financial expert, Aliyu Ilyas. Hello there, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, thank you for having me.
Now, what does the composition of growth tell us about Nigeria's economic resilience?
Right, I think it's a good one that we're having growth, but ideally, for the past 10 years, except the COVID year, quarter three is always a good year that is always surpass the first quarter, second quarter, to actually show that there is boom and there is activities going on. But for this, I think this is a positive one. That shows that Nigeria is conscious with productivity, and it's far better compared to what we have last year. That simply means that there's focus, because if you look at it from service sector to agricultural sector to industrial sector, even to other companies that have been added, you see that there's a conscious effort to actually bring about good. You also recall that after the rebasing, there are also other components that have been added to
Well, this indeed is a very good development, but how sustainable is Nigeria's non-oil sector growth?
Right. If you look at it now, I think it's actually positive. I think because of the construction, real estate, we have mining, they actually are doing well. But even at that, if you look at it holistically, you see that we have service sector still doing better. But ideally, we are supposed to have agriculture and industrial sector doing better. Because if you look at financial sector or service sector rather, those service sector can actually not bring the real employment for Nigerians. But if it is in agriculture or industrial sector, which is likely to be manufacturing sector, it simply means that and also translate to better life for the justice.
Okay, now what are the implications of fluctuating oil production on future GDP performance?
Right. So going forward, remember, the federal government said this targeting $1 trillion economy. That simply means that there is going to be a concerted effort to make sure that the GDP continue to grow. If you look at the oil sector too, we are doing better compared to what we are doing last year. If you look at the productivity part of Nigeria, we're also doing better. So what we only need to do that Nigeria government need to support the small business to scale. And how can we achieve scaling? Simply means that from small business to medium scale to upper level. It simply means that there must be a reduction in operational costs for people that want to actually go into business, such as energy costs. I want to talk about energy costs. We are looking at the cost of PMS. We are looking at the cost of electricity, and also access to finance. If we can bring all this together, our GDP will continue to grow, because the more productive our citizens are, The more productive the economy is, the better and the improvement that we'll have in the GDP. So government needs to do more.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you very much for your contributions. Do you have a good evening?
Thank you. Good evening.
This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. As Nigeria marks World AIDS Day, federal government reaffirms commitment to ending HIV. More news when we return after the break. Do stay. You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at our top stories once again. Northern governors meet in Kaduna to address insecurity. And Ribadu visits Niger, assures parents of safe return of abducted St. Mary's Catholic School students. And moving on to other stories now, the Nasarawa State Police Command has rescued 40 victims of human trafficking, comprising 33 males and 7 females from a bungalow located in the Orange Market area of Mararaba, Karu local government area. State Commissioner of Police Mohammed Shatima Jauro disclosed it during a press briefing in Lafia, the state capital. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented from our studio.
According to the Commissioner of Police, the victims, mostly Malian nationals, were lured into Nigeria with false promises of job opportunities in France.
Based on credible intelligence that some persons suspected to be foreign nationals who speaks only French and Arabic had been sighted about a week earlier at Orange Market, Mararaba, Karo local government area. I immediately directed the Divisional Police Officer Mararaba A Division to move to the scene for prompt action. Preliminary investigation revealed that about 1 week earlier, one Abdullahi Bata, male, a Malian national, resident in Nigeria, allegedly lured the victims under the pretext of securing job opportunities for them in France. The suspect illegally transported them from Mali to Orange Market, Mararaba, where they were held captive in a bungalow.
He explained that the victims were allegedly held captive and forced to contact other unsuspecting persons to join them in Nigeria. He added that the prime suspect, Abdullahi Bata, a Malian national who had initially fled, was recently arrested following a manhunt launched to apprehend him and other members of the trafficking syndicate. The police said the rescued victims will be handed over to Nigerian Immigration Service for further investigation and appropriate action, while efforts are ongoing to uncover the full extent of the trafficking network and bring all perpetrators to justice. Confirming the receipt of the victims, the Nasarawa State Controller of Nigerian Immigration Service, Sekura Ubali, said his command also arrested an additional 20 Malians who will be profiled for repatriation.
The next line of action is to take them to my state command office, profile them. Up to profiling, then we take them to Abuja, our service headquarters, for onward repatriation to their various nationals.
In another development, the command has arrested a suspect kidnapper, Abubakar Abdamu, and recovered a cache of arms and ammunition from him. The suspect, a resident of Adudu district in Obi local government area, was arrested on November 24, 2025 at Kitio village in the same local government area. Police say credible intelligence led to his arrest, and during interrogation, the suspect took detective to his hideout where one AK-47 rifle, 2 magazines, and 11 rounds live ammunition were recovered. The suspect is currently undergoing investigation and will be prosecuted upon completion of the process.
Motherhood in Nigeria is often celebrated as a symbol of resilience, sacrifice, and unconditional love. But behind the smiles and cultural expectations, many Nigerian mothers face struggles that often go unnoticed. Across the country, countless women shoulder the responsibility of raising children alone. They are single mothers, women who work, struggle, and sacrifice daily under harsh economic conditions. Some of these mothers who spoke to Trust TV shared their challenges and the efforts they make to survive alongside their children. The reports.
From dawn until late into the night, Nigerian mothers form the backbone of many households. Increasingly, many of them are raising their children alone, without support from their partners or the fathers of their children. They are single mothers. For these women, every day is a financial battle, as many rely on petty trading, domestic work, or manual labor, jobs that barely put food on the table. With no partner to share the burden, they bear the full weight of their family's survival. Their living conditions are often poor and unhealthy. One of such mothers is Joy Joseph, a single mother of two who lives with her auntie in a cramped single room in Agege. She shares her struggle with Trust Television as she continues to seek help.
To be a single mother is not easy. Number one, because some men, they didn't want to take responsibility for child. Single mother like this, I've passed. It's only me that I'm training my daughter. Now my daughter is 5 years and is not going to school because I don't have the work that I'm doing. The money is not much for me.
Similarly, Abosede Salami, a single mother of 5, survives by selling fried meat, fish, and soft drinks. At night, her small business store doubles as a sleeping space for herself and her children, the youngest just 5 years old.
So I used to do so many business to feed my children and myself. I have 5 children. So I'm selling different things to feed ourselves. So I'm the one pay for house rent, pay for my shop, NEPA bill, lawman, so many things. This is what I'm selling for living. I'm selling sachets, 100 naira room, pure water. I sell only one room, so no helper.
In a striking picture of survival, Trust TV visited a compound behind the Palace Square in the Ogba Agege area of Lagos. There, more single mothers live with their children under tough conditions. Among them is Fatima Tukara, a single mother of 2 living in the boys' quarters. Her 5-year-old son, Mohammed, has lost one of his legs, yet he amazes neighbors by doing tasks that even other children struggle with. These women narrated their daily battles and how they strive to survive in Nigeria's harsh economic climate.
It's not been easy, as a single mother, taking care of 2 kids and by feeding them, school fees, clothing, taking care of them in any aspect. In Lagos, it's not that easy. Things are very difficult, but it has not been easy, like I said, but we are just trying our best. So where we struggle by paying house rent or doing many things.
As a single mother, it has never been easy because it's not any woman's dream to be a single mother because the struggle is not easy. Catering for 2 kids at the same time, doing things that father and mother do, being alone. So it's not easy. I stay in one room actually, and I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And as you can see, the struggle is very, very rough.
Beyond poverty, societal stigma adds another layer of hardship in many communities. Single mothers are judged, labeled, and unfairly blamed for their circumstances. These rejections isolate them further, turning survival into not just an economic challenge, but an emotional one.
Well, let's all try to be our brother's keepers. And as the world marks World AIDS Day this Monday, December 1st, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to ending HIV/AIDS and sustaining the progress achieved over the years. At an event in Abuja, key government officials highlighted renewed strategies, strengthened partnerships, and continued support for people living with HIV. The report.
Every year on December 1st, the world pauses to remember the millions affected by HIV and AIDS, a day for reflection, solidarity, and renewed action. In Nigeria, the message was clear. The fight continues. Addressing stakeholders, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu highlighted the progress made through national programs such as the Free to Shine campaign and efforts towards the triple elimination of HIV and other maternal infections.
I am honored to join you today as we commemorate the 2025 World AIDS Day. Every Nigerian deserves to live free from judgment and exclusion. In the past year, our national focus has been on eliminating vertical transmission, expanding pediatrics HIV treatment coverage, and strengthening local sustainability of HIV response. I am pleased to learn that with the support from the Global Fund, the National AIDS and STD Control Program, NASCAP, has recorded significant progress.
For the Director General of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, Dr. Temitope Ilori, the event symbolizes unity of purpose, a time to assess Nigeria's collective journey and renew commitment to ending HIV and AIDS.
Today, about 40.8 million people are living with HIV worldwide, with about 1.3 million new infections recorded in 2024 alone. Yet, through collective global action, more than 29 million people are globally now accessing life-saving antiretroviral treatment. Stigma is being challenged, and the vision of ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030 is indeed within reach.
One story that truly captures attention is that of Gokwin Sayilnen. Her journey began the day she was born, premature, placed in an incubator, and entirely dependent on the medical system meant to protect her. Somewhere in those fragile early hours, long before she spoke her first words, she contracted HIV.
That's another story. I was not born with it. My parents are not reactive. My siblings are not reactive. I was born premature, and through the process of that, I was infected by HIV. Stigma is something that is reoccurring, whether it's not for me, there are other people who have been stigmatized. And yes, I've been stigmatized in one way or the other. And it hasn't stopped me from accessing services and also being a kind person to other people.
Despite global health disruptions, the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, assured Nigerians that the administration remains steadfast in protecting past gains.
I am proud to report that Nigeria has recorded significant achievements across the HIV continuum, especially in ensuring access to life-saving ART, including pediatric formulations for children of 2030. Let us therefore use today to renew our resolve to stand with people living with HIV.
Remember that HIV is not only a health challenge, but also a matter of human rights, equality, and national development. Every public servant living with HIV deserves protection, opportunity, and unwavering support.
Meanwhile, South Africa, Eswatini, and Zambia were to begin on Monday administering a groundbreaking new HIV prevention injection in the drug's first public rollout in Africa, which has the world's biggest HIV burden. Tanti Azal, Trust TV, Abuja.
The Dangote refinery has announced a commitment to supply 50 million litres per day of petrol and 1.5 billion litres monthly from December 2025 to January 2026. The company disclosed at the weekend in a notice to the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, signed by its Chief Executive Officer, David Bird. Recall that NMDPRA had announced that Dangote Refinery supplied only 34.15% of Nigeria's 56.7 million litres of petrol per day consumption in October 2025, contrary to the 45 million litres per day claimed by the refinery. Reacting, the 650,000 barrel per day refinery vowed to upscale its domestic supply capacity to outspace petrol imports. It added that the plant will further increase its petrol supply to the Nigerian market to 1.7 billion litres per month from February 2026 onwards. The company further sought the support of NMDPRA to import crude feedstocks and blending components unhindered. And away from Nigeria, Cameroonian opposition figure Anicet Kano on Monday morning died in detention in Yaoundé. The vice president of his party, Valentine Dango, said the exact circumstances of the 74-year-old's death remains unclear. The left-wing nationalist politician was arrested in Douala on October the 24th on the eve of the publication of presidential election results that returned 92-year-old Paul Biya to power for an 8th mandate. Ekane was close to following opposition figure Issa Chiroma Bakare, who contested Biya's 43-year grip on power in October 12th election. He and other political leaders were arrested for publicly supporting Bakare's self-proclaimed presidential victory ahead of the publication of official results. Born in Douala in 1951, Ekane joined the Union of the Peoples of Cameroon, UPC party in 1973, which he then quit to create Manidem in 1995. In February 1990, he and other members of the Yondo Black Group were arrested. He was condemned in a military trial before being pardoned several months later. We now bring you the latest from the world of sports on our sports package tonight.
Nigeria's under-15 boys national team has departed Abuja for Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, ahead of the 2025 West African Football Union WAFU Zone B African School Football Championship, scheduled for November 29 to December 4, 2025. The squad, coached by Seun Oyeniyi, concluded in an intensive 2-week training camp at the FIFA Gold Project Package B within the Moshood Abiola National Stadium before leaving Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on Saturday morning. Team officials say confidence is high as the young players aim to secure the zonal title. The draw for WAFU B zonal qualifiers held Friday at the regional body's headquarters in Abidjan Place, Nigeria, in Group B, alongside Cote d'Ivoire and Benin Republic in what is expected to be a tightly contested pool. Both Nigerian boys and girls teams learned their group stage opponent during the event. Organized by the Confederation of African Football (CAF), the African Schools Football Championship is a key component of the continent's long-term grassroots development strategy. The initiative offers school-age players exposure to high-level competition and a pathway to further national and international opportunities. Still on sport news, a dark cloud descended over Nigerian football on Sunday as the Southern Delta University Stadium Ozoro became a theater of intimidation and terror. Ahead of the Nigerian Professional Football League NPFL clash with Nasarawa United, Warri Wolf, home turf turned into battleground not for skill but for fear. Investigation shows that armed thugs fired shots into the thin air and made chilling threats to match referees and visiting officials, insisting the home team must win at all costs.
Many thanks, Kabir, for that update. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust TV News for tonight. I would like to remind you to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Thank you for watching.